Why did you look at me like that?
Like what? Like I love you?
No, like you was expecting me to do it.
I didn't know. Last week I remember you were really hyped to do it.
I was only really hyped because we were on a good tangent about dyeing your hair, which looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Looks really purple. Mm-hmm. Smells like bubblegum. Mm-hmm. Smells like expensive kid bubblegum.
I don't know if it still does, but when I first did it, it smelled like grape bubblicious.
Yeah, it smells like the bubblegum that if your parents bought it for you, they probably loved you.
Yeah, the pieces were huge.
Yeah. But they only held their flavor for like 3 chews.
So true. But those chews were so good.
They were 3 sugar-ridden chews of awesomeness. Welcome back, everyone, to Lulu and Pop. I hope you guys had a good week. Mm-hmm. We had a good week.
Yeah.
We're going to have a better week. We're doing something fun today. As you know, Spaces Production is a company that we run here, and we're doing our first web video series with Well Fed. So we're going to be shooting some of that today.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I always downplay my excitement because deep inside I'm a Debbie Downer.
Oh.
No, actually I'm a big old love baby. But you just gotta temper your excitement, because when things don't match your excitement level, it's easy to get down. So if you just kind of just keep your excitement at instead of it being a 10, maybe you just come in at like a smooth 4 or 5. Then anything above average is like an awesome time. Yeah. And then when it's awesome, it's really awesome. Could you imagine going into a movie thing that's about to be like a 3 and that movie turns out to be like a 10?
Yeah, that is a great feeling.
Oh, such a good feeling. I like to have that feeling throughout life. That's kind of the way I roll. The way I roll. So how are you? How are things?
I'm good. It's been a good weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long work week.
This week was significantly tough. Like Friday kind of had me in like a little bit of like a mental work coma. Yeah. I was like, I almost had like a mental schism.
Yeah.
But we went on Friday to go see A Quiet Place.
Yeah, which is actually what is on my docket too. What's happening? I'm stepping on wires. It's caught my toes.
That was smooth. Uh-huh. I was trying to do it a little bit smoother, but fine. We'll just leave it in. It'd be fun.
Yeah. So we went and saw A Quiet Place.
We did, yeah. It's like has 100% rating on Rotten Tomato at the time that we saw it, which was Friday. It was cool. It was an interesting horror film, written, directed, and starring the dude from The Office,
John Krasinski.
Yeah,
and co-starring his wife Emily Blunt. It's going to be
Mary Poppins. Yo, Mary Poppins had a little bit of extra swag, I feel like, in that preview I saw.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she did back in the day too.
I never seen Mary Poppins. I have no interest in watching Mary Poppins.
I mean, yeah, I can see that as an adult, but as a child, it was definitely
nope.
It was one of those movies that
I didn't see Willy Wonka till I was like a teenager.
I was gonna say the music catalog alone from that movie is very memorable. Like, you know the songs, even though you've...
Oh, yeah, probably.
Supercalifragilistic.
Yeah, but I never really bumped with Mary Poppins at all. I always thought it was a stupid concept. As a kid, like, when I would look at it, it just felt like I would rather watch something else. Preferably a cartoon or something. Like, I didn't want to watch that. I had a hard time watching a lot of movies that were popular for kids. I always thought they were stupid. Like Herbie.
Herbie I was not into. This Mary Poppins, that my favorite part was when they would jump into these chalk murals.
Oh, yeah?
And go to another place. They'd go to like a cartoon land.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those things were always super cool to me.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, I didn't see Willy Wonka till I was like old enough to like sneak and drink. And like actively try to do that. But yeah, I will see Mary Poppins when it comes out if you're trying to see it.
Yeah, I will, for nostalgia reasons.
That's cool. So A Quiet Place was cool. We're not going to spoil it for you here. Maybe we'll do that over on the Patreon. Lulu and Pop spoil some shit. But I would definitely say that this isn't a big spoiler alert for the film because it is a large part of the film. Emily Blunt is pregnant. And I will say this, she did not start to film pregnant. Can I just say that I can't give this movie 100%. because that is the dumbest logic I've ever seen. It is like the movie itself, the plot of it is like the equivalent of let's split up and search for someone in a horror film. You know what I mean? Like this, it probably would have been a different, it would have been a totally different film if she was just not pregnant. Like, why would you shoot up the club in the apocalypse?
I don't know. And it's funny because when we were watching it in the beginning, because it's also a known fact, it's not a spoiler, that these creatures hunt you by sound.
Yes.
So you literally can't drop nothing. You can't fart loud. You can't sneeze. You can't even breathe loud.
No, you really can't do much of all, especially when they open up all of their sensory situation.
So I know we were both like, there's no way they're even getting it in at this point. Like, I feel like sex is like...
I feel like you could get it in.
But it would be so...
I feel like it wouldn't be very fun
to
get it in. And me personally, I would probably want to only get it in during that time of the month. Just so I can be like, there is definitely no baby happening. Because like none of them is doctors, Like that's my main, even if it wasn't like shrieking speed demons that like rip you apart, because those things were fast and strong. Like there's no doctors.
There's no like.
So if you're gonna give birth, what did you do? Did you just read some books and check out a YouTube class? Like that might help you out. But what if there's a complication and then like you die and the baby could die too? You know what I mean? And then it's just like that shit's tough. Like why would you actively make a baby in like an apocalyptic situation? I can understand maybe like when it's settled, there's like a community. You know, you guys are trying to rebuild society.
You've figured out how to overcome this.
Yeah, there's like a nurse or something. There's some healthcare. There's some type of system there. But like, why would you in the midst? It's only been, I think, like a year since those monsters came down.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 400 days. So it had been like a year and a half when she was. Yeah. But that was when she was already pregnant.
She was significantly pregnant by that time. I want to say she was like.
Although there
9 months.
There are like events that lead up to that I'm like, well, you know why she's pregnant, but you're still like, why? I just
that plot point alone, but I know it will connect with some people.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of people that would connect with that. Those people who want to have like ginormously large families and everything they want to do for their kids, like their goal in life was to get married and pump out like little like eyes and mouths to feed. And I don't subscribe to that theory, none whatsoever. Like I kind of feel like if you make a person, you make a person, but it's not my end all be all meaning of life.
A family of 8.
Right. And I can like hold off on reproducing if it's the end of the fucking world.
Plus like, I mean, I think about things like that, like especially at the beginning of this movie when it was like there was no hope. And my mind always goes through like how like they're kind of like teaching their kids how to survive. And in my head, I'm like, damn, these kids right now where they are, the best outcome for them is that their parents are going to die and they'll have each other, but they're never going to have like, you know, a significant other.
Not to spoil the movie, but there are other people.
But I'm just saying
around.
There are, but
you would have to like actively seek, like at one point the son would have to be like, I'm going to go find my own family.
Yep.
And then he would go out into the world, which I would think is extremely dangerous, and try to make something happen. You know? And I think that's a lot to say. So overall, the film, I thought it was a good film. Would you say it was a good film?
It was fantastic.
Would you recommend it?
I would highly recommend it.
Would you say it was scary?
It wasn't scary in the way that, like, after we saw it, and we had to come home and, like, watch something funny, because we were like, this was creepy scary.
Yeah.
Like, this was good. It was jump scary. It definitely had horror elements to it.
Yeah.
But there was also, it leaned strongly on drama, almost like a drama with the family.
Yeah. It was like very tense.
You were very invested in the family.
It made you feel extremely uncomfortable and like on the edge of your seat. Like even when they were like drowning in the corn scenario, and you know that like you can't get loud. I will have to say also that the daughter is an idiot. I don't care. Shout out to her being actually deaf in real life, though. I think that's cool.
Also, sorry not to cut you off. I was just pulling up her name because I wanted to shout her out. But John Krasinski, I probably butcher his name every time. He was actually one that pushed to cast a deaf actor or actress.
That's cool.
So shout out to him for portraying people accurately.
I mean, when someone gets it, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. But her character in this movie was not my favorite person. And I think they kept trying to make us feel some type of sympathy for her. Like, woe is me, but she was just kind of an idiot.
But she was also at that age. She was like that tween.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand that, but can you get over your emotions when it's the end of the world? Mm. Like when monsters can rip you to parts, wouldn't you kind of just be like, like, damn. You know what I mean? That's my only thing. Because it's not like they don't know that they don't exist. Like, she witnessed what they can do firsthand. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you... I don't know. I just kind of find it hard to believe that you would act out on emotions that you would have if you were in school.
Yeah.
During an Armageddon situation. Or maybe because it was like a year, she just kind of felt super safe and shit. I mean, maybe time moves slower. But I don't know. They had I don't think so. I don't know.
Also, the girl's name is Millicent Simmons.
Uh-huh.
And so they're saying John really pushed for them to hire her. And then she came to set and taught everyone sign language.
Oh, cool.
It was a really amazing. They're saying it was really amazing and brought an extra depth to the film.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they didn't know sign language beforehand. I mean, they had to know a little bit of sign language. This is kind of a heavy part of the film. Because the daughter is deaf in the film. Mm-hmm. I feel like, all right, cool. So also, in the same vein of A Quiet Place, we saw that on a Friday night. And usually we don't go to the theaters on Friday nights because we're old. Not old as in gray, but just old as in like, we don't got time for that shit.
True. And
like it is at a horror film on a Friday night, there was tons of young folks. Young, I'm talking between the ages of like, I don't know, 18 and 20.
Yeah, I would say not old enough to drink.
Not old enough to drink, but old enough to drive somewhere and annoy the fuck out of adults.
Yes.
And there was a I don't know, not quite a man, not quite a boy sitting next to us with his not quite a woman, not quite a girlfriend.
Date. I don't know if they were...
Well, after what happened, I don't know. And throughout the movie, Lauren sitting between, Lauren sitting next to this dude, and I'm sitting like against the rail because that's where we naturally sit when we go to movie theaters. And I kind of see Lauren like, I'm like, what's up? She's like, this dude won't stop talking. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I didn't even notice it. And then when I look over, I start hearing it now. And at first I was just like, oh wow, he really is talking a lot. So then I'm like, shh. And I thought I heard like a little rustle. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's like all I gotta take. It's good. I don't have to flex on no one. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. We're watching the movie. I hear a little bit of hair. I hear a little bit of talking here and there. I'm like, all right, I can't get too mad at the date. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Real tense scene in the film. This kid starts freaking out like a fucking ants is in his pants. He's talking a fucking shitstorm. Not even lowly.
No.
And I lean over and I was like, dude, shut up.
I laughed.
And he looked over at me and she looked over at me and I looked at them like, and then they sat back in their seat. Mm-hmm. Now at moments like this, I just want to say two things.
Okay.
The first thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like using my big blackness to flex on little lily white boys. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while, you gotta flex.